Thank you, Mr Rennie. We now move to the open debate, and I call Christina McKelvie to speak first.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. And can I start with paying tribute to the First Minister? I think Willie Rennie actually meant to do that there, but he forgot. Can I pay tribute to the First Minister in setting out a vision for Scotland, a bold, progressive, transformative programme for government, a programme that is ambitious, outward-looking and governing for all in Scotland. And this programme with people at its core, where opportunities are for everyone and not the select few. And that's where I will focus my comments today. Despite, Presiding Officer, the major upheaval in circumstances since the EU referendum, this government has stayed the course. This government has provided real leadership when it was needed most, demonstrated by the support announced today around our business sector. It is my continuing aim to provide that same leadership to the people of Hamilton, Larkhall and Stonehouse. Presiding Officer, this government will continue to be at the forefront of transformative politics to give our constituents every opportunity to partake in that civic life. We pledge to empower those who have felt ignored and shunned by society and progressive UK governments. We endeavour to create a society with tolerance, respect and dignity right at its heart. This is exactly why this government has reaffirmed its support for the 1 in 5 campaign, in addition to creating a democratic participation fund to widen access to politics for those with a disability. Access to politics shouldn't be an exclusive closed-doors club, and this government is offering real solutions to promote inclusivity within local government. These pledges are not tokenism, nor is it just lip service to the people in a disabled community. These pledges are transformative for those people, politics in action. Our vision will be to ensure that barriers to participation are broken down and that those who want to make a difference in their local government can do so without discrimination or fear. That is about much more than money. This is about opportunity. And let's think about the opportunity our Paralympians will face when they start their endeavours tomorrow. Some of them lost their mobility cars due to Ruth Davidson's government. That's an absolute travesty when they talk about caring for people with disabilities. And it's opportunities for all, regardless of background and circumstances. Scotland stands proud as a nation that values its diversity, a country that believes in the principle of its people and placing us all equal before each other. Equality and inclusivity, these are two fundamental principles that underpin this government's vision for the future, to achieve true equality and to achieve true inclusivity. Education is vital, as we've heard, and to this end, it is time for inclusive education. It's time to stand shoulder to shoulder with organisations like TIE Campaign, the LGBT Youth Scotland, to reinforce what we in Scotland already know. We are all one people with the same rights. And Scotland leads the way in protecting people's rights, Presiding Officer, despite the best efforts of a Conservative Party, despite their callous attempts to curb workers' rights through the Anti-Trade Union Bill, which this government has pledged to resist, despite their unrelenting pursuit to withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights and their so-called repeal of the Human Rights Act, and despite their regressive steps towards creating a so-called British Bill of Rights. This Scottish Government has worked tirelessly to protect the right of all of its people. This includes the rights afforded to us as members of the European Union. These rights now face an uncertain future, to say the least, whilst ill-equipped Conservatives MPs dig their way out of the mess of their own creation. Apparently it's quite straightforward, but complex at the same time. A mess that is their own creation, Presiding Officer. Ordinary people are bearing the brunt. If Brexit truly means Brexit, can the Conservative Party say rights such as the EU Pregnant Workers Directive, guaranteeing the right to paid time off for antenatal appointments, is really safe in their hands? Or the domestic violence directives, are they safe in the Conservatives' hands? The answer to that is very unclear, and therefore I do welcome the domestic abuse bill, a real step forward and something many of us across this chamber have campaigned for many years. However, let me be undeniably clear. Under this Scottish Government, the European Convention on Human Rights will be upheld. The Human Rights Act is fundamentally written into the Scotland Act. This Parliament, not Westminster, will be the decision makers. This Government, not the Conservatives, will protect human rights, and we will not replace them with something lacking. We face uncertain times, Presiding Officer, a precarious political landscape, whilst the fallout from Brexit remains greatly concerning, especially given the glacial reaction of the Conservative Westminster Government. This Scottish Government has done what it was elected to do: govern. We have led by example where others have faltered. We want to ensure that we foster an inclusive society, as I said before. Then this government has put its action into words. Our 50-50 gender balance cabinet reaffirms this government's commitment to 50-50 representation on public boards, councils and even right here in this place by 2020. So I'm sure there's many across this chamber will welcome with me a Scottish Government gender balance on public boards bill. It's a policy whose time has come. And I'm sure, and I will ask for members across the chamber to support this, to work collectively towards this goal and to ensure that the term glass ceiling or sticky floor is consigned to the history textbooks. Tackling pregnancy and maternity discrimination, supporting women after they've had children to return to the workplace is another superb announcement I'm so glad to hear. Presiding Officer, this government was elected to govern for all throughout Scotland. I believe it will strive to make sure that this chamber is representative of homes and workplaces up and down the country. Scotland will continue to be a country where ambition is only limited by your imagination. Whilst there remains plenty of work to be done, make no mistake, this government will rise to the challenge. A social security bill, a child poverty bill, warmer homes, a housing bill, etc, etc, etc. I look forward to playing a full and active role in that challenge to create a nation that is for all, not just for the few.
Thank you. Can I remind members it's very tight again. It's